For decades, the concept of a floating city was dismissed as the fever dream of tech billionaires or the setting for a post-apocalyptic movie. But look at the horizon today, and you'll see that the ocean is no longer just a highway for ships. It is becoming the foundation for the next great era of human expansion. Beyond the glossy renders of luxury retreats, nations are quietly deploying mega-ocean infrastructure, mobile nuclear power hubs, desalination platforms the size of aircraft carriers, and industrial cities built on the waves. From the Red Sea to the South China Sea, the race is on to build land where none exists. This isn't just about escaping rising sea levels, it's about a $3 trillion blue economy that seeks to colonize the 70% of our planet we have largely ignored. This is the story of the floating cities that are already here, and the ones currently being built in secret. The most critical component of any city isn't the buildings, it's the power. While land-based cities struggle with aging grids, Russia and China are deploying what can only be described as nuclear power ships. The Akademik Lomonosov, Russia's floating nuclear power plant, is the blueprint. It is a 21,000-ton vessel that functions as a mobile, plug-and-play reactor capable of providing heat and electricity to a city of 200,000 people. These aren't just stopgap measures. By 2025, the market for floating power plants is projected to exceed $8.6 billion. These mobile batteries allow nations to tow a fully functional energy grid to remote mining sites or disaster zones. China is following suit, developing its own fleet of floating small modular reactors, SMRs, to power its remote outposts. The engineering challenge is immense. These reactors must be able to withstand level 12 typhoons and tsunamis that would cripple a land-based plant. They are the heartbeats of the new ocean infrastructure, ensuring that life on the water is just as electrified as life on land. While most floating projects are modular, Saudi Arabia is attempting something gargantuan. As part of the $500 billion NEOM project, they are constructing Oxagon, a massive octagonal industrial city that will float in the Red Sea. Oxagon isn't a retreat. It's a fully automated, AI-driven port and manufacturing hub. The scale is staggering. Spanning 48 square kilometers, it will utilize a unique honeycomb-style floating base made of high-strength, corrosion-resistant materials. The city is designed to be a blue economy pioneer, powered 100% by renewable energy and housing the world's most advanced automated logistics system. The engineering secret here is the structural flexibility. The city must be rigid enough to support factories and high-speed rail, yet flexible enough to ride the swells of the Red Sea without tearing itself apart. If successful, Oxagon will be the world's largest floating structure, a monument to the idea that the future of industry isn't on land, it's on the water. While Oxagon is industrial, Oceanix Busan in South Korea is the world's first prototype for a climate-resilient residential floating city. Backed by the UN, this project is the answer to the threat of rising sea levels that currently loom over 90% of the world's megacities. Oceanix consists of interconnected platforms that rise and fall with the tides. The secret to its stability lies in biorock, a revolutionary material produced by passing a small electrical current through underwater metal structures, causing minerals from the sea to crystallize into a rock-hard coating that is actually stronger than concrete. This biorock foundation doesn't just support the city, it heals itself and becomes a thriving artificial reef for marine life. Oceanix is designed to produce its own food, water, and energy, creating a closed-loop ecosystem that turns the ocean from a threat into a resource. Beneath the talk of sustainable living and floating gardens lies a more tactical, steel-clad reality: the Mobile Offshore Base, MOB. For decades, the US Navy and other global powers have researched joint mobile offshore bases, modular, semi-submersible platforms that can be assembled in international waters to create a staggering 2-kilometer-long floating runway. Unlike a traditional aircraft carrier, which is a single, vulnerable hull, a MOB is a collection of independent, self-propelled modules that utilize dynamic positioning to stay perfectly aligned, even in rough sea state 6 conditions. Imagine 5 separate modules, each 300 meters long and 150 meters wide, docking together in the middle of the Pacific. These aren't just ships, they are massive floating islands capable of housing 3,000 troops, 10 million gallons of fuel, and an entire heavy brigade's worth of equipment. In 2025, the U.S. Navy is already utilizing evolved expeditionary sea bases like the USS Lewis B. Puller, which serve as floating SEAL bases, mine countermeasure hubs, and massive logistics nodes. The strategic genius of this infrastructure is its lily pad capability. By deploying these bases in the high seas, a nation can project overwhelming power without the diplomatic headaches of land-based treaties or the need for a host nation's permission. These structures utilize massive ballast tanks to lower their center of gravity below the wave action, making them incredibly stable platforms for heavy-lift transport planes like the C-17 Globemaster. This allows for the rapid delivery of supplies and troops directly to the theater of operations, turning the high seas into a permanent, mobile fortress that can be disassembled and moved before an adversary can even coordinate a strike. It is the ultimate expression of sovereign territory moving across the map at will. The rise of floating infrastructure brings with it a storm of legal and ethical controversies. The primary issue is territorial sovereignty. If a nation builds a floating city in international waters, does it become a new country? This concept, known as seasteading, has long been a libertarian dream, but it's a nightmare for international law. There is also the environmental toll. Critics argue that massive floating structures block sunlight from reaching the seafloor, potentially killing off massive swaths of marine life. Furthermore, the blue economy is often seen as a new form of ocean grabbing, where wealthy nations and corporations claim sections of the sea for mining and energy, displacing local fishing communities. The tragedy of the blue economy is that while it may save us from rising seas, it might destroy the very oceans we are trying to live on. The floating cities of tomorrow aren't coming. They are already here, being towed into place, anchored to the seabed, and powered by nuclear hearts. We are witnessing the final stage of human urbanization, where the line between land and sea finally dissolves. These megastructures represent our greatest engineering gamble, that we can build a world that doesn't just survive the water, but thrives in it. Whether it's the industrial titan of Oxagon or the modular neighborhoods of Busan, the message is clear. The next great leap for mankind isn't toward the stars, it's toward the deep blue. The ocean is the final frontier on Earth, but would you be willing to leave solid ground to live in a floating city? Is this the ultimate solution to climate change, or are we just bringing our problems to a new environment? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown of floating infrastructure fascinating, smash that like button and subscribe to Megaprojects Hub. We have more deep dives into the world's most insane engineering coming your way.